Hello, my name's Jason, and welcome back to I Have a Story. Today I want to talk about something and give a little bit of clarification. One thing about opening up my life to people and doing this, it opens up a lot. And there's things that get said that, I don't know, I guess I'd like to clarify and share with parents because this is something that parents should be considering when raising children. In the one video that I aired for you, you heard me say that we're not responsible for our children's schooling. There is some truth to that, and there is some truth that we're parents and we're supposed to take care of our kids. What didn't get put in all that, and I'm going through this craziness. I don't bring up any more. I just want the craziness to end. So you listen to me. I don't talk. I defend myself and try to throw in a 2 cent here and there and just watch my 2 cents roll down the road. So in our particular situation with her daughter paying for her schooling, one, she doesn't tell me about it and she doesn't prepare for it, and then she just drops thousands of dollars and thousands of dollars, and we don't have it and we don't prepare for it. If we did have it, we did have it, but we don't prepare for it, so it causes problems in our house. Then also causing problems in her mother and part of the mental illness. But what I'd like to talk about, her daughter had the full opportunity to get a complete free ride through college, and she turned it down. She turned it down because she would rather go somewhere she wanted to go, to a different school in a different area away from home, and then go work in a mall and still live like a child. Now I understand that to some extent she was still a child. In my eyes, she'll always be a child. I will always look at her as one because that's part of being a parent. They're always a child to you. So she had the opportunity to get a complete free ride through college. She got our realtor that sold our house, or that we first were hiring to sell our house. We ended up going with a different realtor, but the first realtor that we had, she was really nice, sweet. We talked to her for quite a while, and we talked to her about her daughter going to school. And she said, tell you what, I went to school for the same exact thing. I can get her a free ride, get her a job in the industry, and get her inside. That would sound amazing, right? Go to school for free, get paid to do it, and get inside with insiders' help in your industry. Wouldn't that be amazing? But she turned it down because she wants to play like a child. She wants to live life like a child. And this is part of what's going on in the world today. Adults are not giving a guiding our children properly. Her mother cries and cries for years and years. Our whole marriage, I heard year after year crying about student loans and how much she still owes from 30 years ago. Student loans have like quadrupled since then, and you're going to cry today and still continue to be so upset about student loans, but you're going to put your daughter in that same position. She could have had a free ride. You didn't even try. She didn't even try to talk her into it. She just, hey, guess what? Don't want to do it? Okay. That's not raising your children and guiding them properly as a parent and as an adult. School's kind of a joke and a racket to begin with. How it costs so much is it's just a racket. Here, start out your life. We're going to drop you in the world with an $80,000 debt right off the bat. That's wicked. That's terrible. It's also terrible that school is such a fraudulent thing to begin with. I've met more people with college degrees that A, either don't do what they went to school for, or B, they're just the dumbest people I've ever freaking met, with no common sense whatsoever and have no business being in any job other than McDonald's. I look at school as a complete joke. There's great education, but there are ways to be educated and learn, and I've gone to school many, many times, and I've learned a lot through schooling, and it's been a great experience to the most part, except for one school experience I'll be sharing at a later video. But anyways, you need to start raising your kids to make proper decisions. Why would you put yourself or allow your daughter to put herself in $80,000 in debt when she could have had a free ride and an insider's guide through the industry? Would have put her up top, wouldn't it? Very good chance. So that was where I got really upset about when you hear me talk about we're not responsible for our kids' school. We're not. But also, it's great if we can help. But it's best to guide your children properly. When I was going to school, I started out going to school paying for it myself week after week. I paid my semesters right up front and paid for it as I went through. The second time I took student loans and my school screwed me. I signed up for classes. They went in and I was going to school for nursing. I went to school for nursing twice. I tried doing this. The second time I went was the straw that broke the camel's back. I went to school, went in there and said I want to go to the nursing school. They were so ecstatic that I wanted a man who wants to go into nursing school. That is great. They were ecstatic. Put me in with the head of the nursing department of the college. She said, wow, a man who wants to be a nurse. This is great. She signed me up for all the wrong classes. I have a friend, her name's Jenna. She was going to nursing school at the same time, and she was ecstatic that I was going to school for nursing, and her and I were going to buddy up and partner up for doing classes together and working together to get through school. She looked at my roster and said, these aren't the classes you need. I said, what do you mean these aren't the classes I need? She goes, you don't need a single one of these. They just signed you up for the wrong program. I said, are you kidding me? So I went back to the school. This is before school started. I went back to the school and said, look, I have a friend who's in nursing and she said that these are all the wrong classes. Oh yeah, she's right. Those are the wrong classes. You guys put me in with the head of the department and she still signed me up for the wrong classes. But it gets worse. Not only did she sign me up for the wrong classes, I had to reapply and reschedule my whole schooling and get into the right classes. I did that, and I asked to have the other classes dropped, which should have been an automatic. I shouldn't have even had to ask. I was told those classes are dropped. Go ahead and continue with your schedule. So I'm going through my school year, and I look in my file, and I'm seeing that I still have these other classes showing unattended. So I went back to the school, talked to the head of the nursing department again, and said, look, these are still showing up. Did they get dropped? Oh, don't worry about it. It just shows up to the end of the semester, and I'm like, okay, well, that's what you say. You guys are the ones in charge. I already got let down once. How many fooled me once, fool me twice again, because they did fool me twice. They never dropped those classes. So at the end of the semester, I ended up with a 50% of classes that I attended and had a B+ grade. And then I had 50% zeros that I never attended and gave me zeros. Now you can have 100% and take half a roster of classes, get 100%, and then take half a roster that you don't and get zero. You're going to end up with 50%. No matter what, it's a failure. I lost my student loans. I lost my ride to college. I lost college altogether. I have the conversation recorded with the school. Again, I record all this because I'm so sick of it. My life is so insane. I have it recorded. I went in there and talked to him and said, look, I'm showing up now at, my grade was at like a 40-some% or something like that. So what happened here? Oh, well, we didn't get those classes dropped. Why not? I asked to have them dropped, even made another appointment specifically just to make sure that those classes got dropped. I was told both times it's taken care of. But it wasn't. So I lost my schooling, and on top of that, now I owe student loans for 2 classes, 2 segments of classes that one of which I never attended and dropped, and the other one, and there's told me there's nothing they can do about it. Sorry, our bad. I have that conversation recorded. What difference does it make? Nobody gives a shit. After what happened yesterday in court, I'm getting close to the end anyways. It's pretty getting close to being all over for me, so I've had enough of this life. I can't take any more of it. I've been wronged so bad by everything I try to do, and I just don't get it. How can I not go to school? How can I go to school and not have a severe problem that now I got $10,000 worth of student loans instead of 5. I can't pay back. I have no college degree to show for. Nothing. Just another failure where I got let down again. And another debt I can't pay. And after what happened yesterday, I just got put in a hole that I can't get out of. So it's likely going to be all over for me very soon if this doesn't stop, because I'm not living like this no more. I can't do it. But this is something parents need to stop being so comforting to their children. This world has become such a comfortable place that we don't know how to live uncomfortably. I have a feeling uncomfortable is coming very, very soon to this country. With everything going on in this world, it's a very scary time and a very scary place right now, and people are not prepared and ready for it. They're not ready for it in life. They're not ready for it mentally. People want to live in selfish entertainment and not look at the world. And it's easy to look at the world and be scared, but what do you do to conquer that fear? The only thing you can, and that's just to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. If you prepare the best you can for the worst, then there's not much to worry about with the worst, because at least you have preparation. That's the way I live life. I was worried about propane going out. They were only filling half tanks. It was in scarce availability, and prices went through the roof, so I ran out and spent $150 and bought a wood stove. I never installed that wood stove, but I have it. I don't have to worry about my family freezing if I can't get propane. It really is that simple. $150, put my mind at ease, and I don't even have to think about it no more. The day ever comes, I'll heat my house and make sure my family doesn't freeze. Most things are that simple. People don't seem to be able to think and handle simple things anymore. Their brains are too full of entertain me, sports stats, and TV schedules that they can't. Your brain can only handle so much, and when you fill it with nothing but garbage, you're just going to think like garbage. So I really want to share that. I mean, if your kids want to go to school, great. But let them try to. There are ways to get out and do things that won't leave them in debt and leave them starting out the world in a negative state. This was a prime example. Her daughter could have gone to school for free, even had insiders and got in with the insiders in her industry, which would have put her up above other people. But she turned it all down just to be a kid and have fun. And not anybody, not a single person even tried to even talk her into it. Just, okay, that's what you want to do. You do what you do. That's not being a parent. That's not guiding your children. And that's part of why they're making wrong decisions, because they're not being guided properly. Parents today are too busy entertaining themselves and playing games like a bunch of adult children. They're not being adults themselves. So I wanted to clarify that up. That's when I have to prove myself to people, but at the same time, there's things that get said, especially, and you hear these conversations taking place. My head spins and I can't think. I mean, she just drives my head into a circle. It makes absolutely no sense, and I've dealt with so much abuse and so much nonsense, and I'm still dealing with it. And a court system supports it when it's a woman doing it. Woman can make any accusation she wants. A man can undeniably prove that it's the exact opposite, and the man is the one who gets attacked. It happened right here. In my case, it's still continuing today, and I'm not putting up with it. So I wanted to clarify that about the kids' school, about schooling, and what I said about how we're not responsible for her schooling, because we're not. I mean, she's an adult now. She wants to make her decisions and do those things. It's great if we can help her, and what is best is if we guide her. And she could have been guided to where she had zero debt, top of the industry, insight handed to her. She chose to be a kid, and her childish parents, who live in world of childish adult land, supported it. So now that girl's going to be in debt, and I mean, God, the struggles she already had in school and being away, and the calls in the middle of the night crying, and live in a feel-good world. The world's not a feel-good place. You got to make tough decisions and do tough things to get on top. Guiding a child to continue living life in a childish fantasy is never going to accomplish that. I know everybody doesn't get the opportunity that she would have had, and it's actually a very rare opportunity to get what she would have had. But just the fact that she turned it down, didn't even want to look at it or discuss it. I don't even want to talk about it. I want to go to school where I want to go to school, and I want to do what I want to do, and I want to work at the mall. I don't want to work in an adult world. Well, that's why you're going to school. Now we see exactly what happens to kids who are raised like this. they still continue to be a bunch of childish adults who don't make proper decisions in their life because they were never guided the right direction. Instead, we have a world that's pampering childishness because adults don't want to deal with anything anymore. Don't want to deal with the kid. It's easier just to, yeah, okay, do whatever you want to do. I'm going back to my phone. I'm going back to my video games. I'm going back to the TV and watching the football game. I don't want to be an adult. It's a huge part of why this world's failing.